The most common cancers among Alaska Native people are breast, colorectal, and lung cancer. With screenings like mammograms and colonoscopies, they can be detected and treated early. Yet, cancer remains the leading cause of death for Alaska Native people, and it has been for decades.
This is outrageous. Why are we not at war with this thing? Why are we not doing more?
Eric Fox lost his mother to cancer in 2017. Within months, he was serving on the state's advisory board to the American Cancer Society. He says you'd be hard-pressed to talk to anyone in the Alaska Native community that hasn't lost someone close to them to cancer.
It's happening every day. 1/5 of our deaths in the Alaska Native community are attributed to cancer.
Fox's mother died after a long battle with colorectal cancer. Data collected by the Alaska Native Tribal Health Consortium showed that Alaska Native people have the highest rates of colorectal cancer in the world. That rate of that cancer has been constant over the last half-century, while the incidence among U.S. white people has gone down. It's a growing disparity.
And this disparity has persisted for the entire time that we've had a cancer registry.
Sarah Nash is the Cancer Surveillance Director at the Alaska Native Tribal Health Consortium. She and her team collect cancer information in a tumor registry for all Indigenous people living in the state of Alaska.
These data provide a baseline from which we can then go away and ask other questions. And we can use this for the base of public health programming and research.
Screening for cancer is one element of prevention. Lifestyle choices like healthy diet, exercise, and quitting smoking can significantly reduce the risks. But she says cancer is a tough problem to solve. Each case has more than one contributing factor.
Every cancer is a different jigsaw puzzle. And so for one person, that jigsaw puzzle may look like smoking and historical trauma and lack of physical activity. And for another person, it might look completely different. It might look like genetics and diet and exposure to some kind of chemical or some kind of workplace exposure.
It's rare to have cancer data that spans 50 years, but the tumor registry at ANTHC does. This year, the data team released a report that compiles that data. Researchers say the findings are crucial to addressing higher rates of certain cancers and health disparities. For example, physicians usually recommend anyone over 50 years old be screened for colorectal cancer. But the registry showed Alaska Native patients tended to get the cancer at a younger age, so ANTHC changed the recommendation to people 40 years and older. Ayu Kasatuk, a breast cancer survivor, says she'd like to see more Alaska-specific protocols like that one.
At the time that I went through cancer as a young woman, younger than so-called normal, there were a number of other Alaska Native women who I was going through treatment with at the same time, who were having the exact same experience. Younger than, the recommended age for annual mammograms and those kinds of things.
Kasatuk found her cancer by chance in her late 30s. She's been cancer-free for a few years, but she's still managing long-term health effects from treatment. She says if cancer messaging had been targeted to her demographic, she would have been more likely to pay attention and perform monthly self-checks. She says Indigenous knowledge could also be incorporated into cancer treatment. Things like plant medicine and ceremony helped heal her whole person. She says it's important to take a holistic approach when talking about health disparities, too.
We need to be able to really look at those things and be able to talk about them and not look at the statistics in isolation from the context that created them. I want to have those conversations about how we talk about health equity and the root causes of the inequities that we experience.
The cancer data highlights a hard reality, but Eric Fox, the advocate working with the American Cancer Society, says it's one that can change with more awareness. And he says medical recommendations are just one part of that solution. The other is changing what he calls a generational mindset of toughing things out.
We've got to make it okay in our community to have these conversations, to bring awareness, and ask the people that we love and care about to go and get these screenings.
Colonoscopies and mammograms can be a delicate subject. But he wants to eliminate those taboos. A little bit of discomfort can save a life. For KTOO, I'm Claire Strimple.